Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, and it is the Demetra K Show. This is the podcast. It is not live. It's just Donovan and I. I will say this. Forgive me for my appearance, and I've said that to y'all last week and this week, but I am going hard in the paint in the gym, and if y'all can see, my eyes are extremely red. I guess I burnt them with the sweat. I think that's kind of what happened, and so they're really irritated, so forgive me. But anyway, I won't belabor that. Today, we are going to be talking about landlords not taking vouchers anymore, Section 8 vouchers, I should say. So I want to know who that affects, because I've seen some things going around the internet like that's, talking to Black women per se, right? We're also going to have a conversation about a guy that is dropping the game on the passport brothers, going to certain countries and places in the world looking for love, quote unquote. And of course, we're going to play this game. Tonight's conversation, I should also tell you guys that the weather here in Houston is ghetto. So I'm going to pray to the ancestors and everybody else in between, God, that this holds up until we're done. So Donovan, what say you?
All right, you guys, welcome. It is January 24th, 2023. Welcome to the Demetra K podcast. Hey, do us a favor, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. These are issues that we're going to talk about today that I think are very, very interesting and might make you just trigger something in your mind that says, I never thought about that. So this is very, very important topic, especially when it comes to the vouching situation. A lot of people do not understand it, and hopefully we can break it down and open up some people's minds. And do us a favor, if you guys also want to, if you look at our scrolling screen at the bottom, they've got the PayPal, the Venmo, the PO box if you want to write a certified check. Demetra doesn't take personal checks, certified checks, and so on and so forth. So if you guys want to do that, and you so be want to help us continue to make a great video. So let's get into this, a very important topic. Passport bros is a very important topic because of, I'm confused when it comes to the passport bros because, and I'm going to get into that a little bit later when we get to that part, but I got something important to say when it comes to the passport bros.
We don't see, brother. All right, so here we go. Here's the first video that I've seen trending. Now, this video is not terribly new. I think it was late November, December, it started to trend, but I saw somebody else post it again, but it was kind of like a 1-2 punch at the sisters. So here we go.
Sad because so many landlords are no longer accepting Section 8 vouchers, to the point where in Atlanta, people are staying in homeless shelters and those tent cities, okay? So this is highlighted in Georgia, but it's happening all over the United States because I'm doing multiple stories on the housing issue, period. It's going to be in the playlist. Let's click below if you're on TikTok. But you all, let's help each other figure out what's going on.
City-sanctioned encampment. You could technically be in an apartment right now if you could find one that would accept the voucher.
Yes.
Both have been approved for the rental assistance program, but neither can find a landlord that will accept it.
I had my vouchers in December.
Yvonne was approved more than a year ago. Both say they were given outdated lists of potential properties to try. It is up to them to make call after call and pay application fees that get them nowhere.
What's the use of a voucher and I can't do anything with it?
Nikita Blanc is getting her master's in sociology at Georgia State University. As part of the program, she spent a year working at the Marietta Housing Authority.
I've seen the desperation in a lot of people's faces when they can't find a place.
Moved by her experience, she is working with other students to figure out why landlords are locking out tenants on Section 8.
We just want to know, did you not get paid on time? Was the relationship with the tenant bad?
In Cobb County, the Housing Authority says in the past 2 years, the number of landlords actively participating in their program has dropped 20%. And according to our open records request, housing authorities across the state report less than half of the families who get vouchers use them.
What would you say is at stake if we don't figure this out?
You're going to see a huge increase in homelessness, women, children, the elderly, our most vulnerable, shout out to cry, our most vulnerable populations will be suffering.
Ruth still goes
Donovan?
Do you want me to start?
I can start if you like me to.
Yeah, go ahead and you do that, because I have something important to say in regards to how this thing works.
All right. You sure? Because I might debunk some of the things that you're going to say.
Well, you always do. So, but you can just go ahead.
Okay, I'll go ahead. So anyway, of course, we saw that news coverage of, people not being able to find shelter, even though they have a voucher. Now, Section 8 voucher is something that comes from the government that says that they'll pay a portion of the rent. Usually, if don't quote me, I think it's like 2/3 of the rent or something like that. So the renter, the tenant, has a smaller portion to be responsible for the rent wherever they may stay. Now, a lot of you can actually get a house or apartment, condo, whatever, I guess, that will take these vouchers. But as it seems now, many landlords are refusing to take the vouchers. And so, as they said, although a lot of people may get the vouchers, a lot of people do not actually end up using them because they just cannot find a place to go. Now, the one thing that I noticed in this media report, I didn't see any white people or Hispanics assault Black people, right? So, of course, we know the media is not our friend. The media is going to frame certain things like it's just us, right? Well, I looked, and per what I found on, let me go back here. It says, per the National Low Income Housing Coalition, it says the distribution of residents living in project-based Section 8 housing units is similar to the racial composition of Eli renters, whatever that may be. It says about half, 49% of a project-based Section 8 residents are white. About a third, 33% are Black, and 13% are Hispanic, and so on and so forth. Now, of course, we know when we speak about us, we need to talk about disproportionately, because we only make up about 13-14% of the population, depending on who you believe, right? And so 33% is high for a 13% of the population. However, it still denotes that white people are benefiting from these programs even more than us, but you rarely see white people living, them interviewing white people about the situation. And so what I'm saying is, it gets framed that this is just a Black problem. No, it's everybody. It's everybody problem. Just like with the whole food stamps argument. Oh, Black people own food stamps. It's like, yeah, but white people benefit from food stamps more than anybody, right? So we also got to be careful of the things that we see on the media, especially when it talks about us. We need to do some research and say, okay, that sounds like it could be true. However, it's probably not, or it's very watered down, and go do your research. And as I was watching that, it's a lot of work to get a voucher. And then after that, it's because you got to qualify, right? And then you got to go find housing. And now you have these landlords who are pulling out of the Section 8 market. So that becomes a problem. Now, it should also be said that a lot of times landlords pull out of this program, the Section 8 program, because they say things like people tearing up the property, having other people live there that's not authorized, and a whole lot of other things that go on that makes it hard for them to participate in the program. Oftentimes you hear about women, let's just keep it real, because it's predominantly, it's mostly women who are the beneficiaries of the Section 8 program. A lot of times they move in a man who ain't about nothing, and a lot of times they causing ruckus and doing the most. And so those are the things that I've seen in regards to landlords not wanting to participate in the program anymore, because the money is guaranteed from the government. Now, on the flip side of that, sometimes the tenant, they don't have their portion of the money, and that could be problematic too. You can still get evicted on a Section 8 voucher. So, Donovan?
All right. I'm not going to dispute a lot of what you said. You took a lot of my notes that are there. But one thing that you did miss in those notes is this. Okay, the the voucher program, okay, it's run by HUD, and it goes through HUD. There is actually a small number of landlords and owners who participate in this housing voucher program. Number one, like you said, a lot of them, the market dictates they can get more money in regards to the local economy, and they don't want to accept the HUD thing. here's one thing a lot of people don't know, and it's really sad, and it's a misnomer. A lot of people think that because you get a voucher, you could go to any place and they're supposed to accept that voucher. That is not true. To be part of the voucher program, you have to go through the HUD processing thing and deal with, whatever their requirements are, and you become part of that program. So even though you're in a place that has, let's say there's 8 apartment complexes, out of the 8 apartment complexes, maybe 2 or 3 of them are part of the voucher program. So a lot of us have a misconception that, oh, we could go to any type of area and they're supposed to accept our voucher. That's not true, because not everybody's in the voucher program. So that's a misconception that a lot of people are under the impression because they get a voucher, they can just go anywhere and a landlord is supposed to accept it, or they're going to accept it. You got to be vetted in the program. And a lot of these people, corporations, are not vetted in the program. They don't want to be vetted in the program. It has to be regulated and inspected by the HUD government. So another problem a lot of the landlords are having is you'll have a certain tenant in there, and let's say the inspector goes in there and he says, well, you got to fix this, you got to fix that, you got to fix this, and the landlord fixes it, whatever. But there's little things like batteries in the smoke detector. A lot of landlords are getting out because of that, and just saying it's just not worth the damage that they have to fix for the next tenant. So a lot of them are leaving because a lot of tenants aren't taking care of the property. And again, a small number of landlords are in the program, but we've been seeing a lot of videos of residents, like the video we just saw, where they can't find places to rent. And it's unfortunate. The government has gotten out of the housing project business in a lot of aspects. And I was watching a video where you saw people that were on, and I'm not shaming the people, but here's my problem with the program. There was a video in Georgia where these women were in this housing area, apartment area, and it was run down and dilapidated, and they had like 60 days to be evicted. And some of the residents had been there for 10 years. You're on this program for 10 years. Why aren't we addressing the issue of it's not supposed to be a lifestyle? It's supposed to help you out and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I believe our elderly, our disabled veterans, they should be able to stay, an extended period of time. But when you're an able-bodied person and you've been on the program for over 10 years, isn't that enough time to figure out, to get permanent housing or, whatever you need to get in a situation? So I just wanted to, you took a lot of my talking points, but landlords, a lot of them are not in the HUD program. They're not in the HUD program, and that's a misnomer by a lot of people.
So I actually want to right off the top say that is not true. In Houston alone, it said there's 90,000 people with vouchers and almost 30,000 landlords that are in the program. Houston being the largest city, the city with the most voucher programs per what I just saw here. And so there are actually quite a few landlords in the program. Now, there might be some coming out of it now. They just, the juice ain't worth the squeeze type of thing. But I also want to debunk the fact that Section 8 means that, I want to say it this way, and I'm not saying you're saying this, but just because you're getting a Section 8 voucher, that don't mean that you're a bad tenant or that you're automatically ghetto or going to tear up the property, because there's a lot of people who do get Section 8. They just are low income and they take very good care of the property. We also know that there are a lot of low income apartments and, projects, as some people would say, that do participate in the Section 8 program. So within those complexes, there are a lot of units, if you will. So typically, I would imagine, don't quote me, a lot of people live in places like that. But I've known people who have had beautiful homes and with a Section 8 voucher in fabulous neighborhoods. So I think we should dispel that it's a certain element and location where Section 8 is located. Also, you brought up the women, I think you said in Atlanta, that were there for 10 years in government housing. Well, yeah, that is true. And there's some people there longer than that. I mean, it is a lifestyle, but I never, ever want to just hang that on the backs of the women and absolve the men, because, if you're most of those women have children, because a lot of times you have, they just do right. They have children. So where are the men in the fathers of these children to at least do what they need to do to help the women and the children stay off of Section 8? Perhaps you can marry the mama, or whatever the case is. But I know if I was a man, I would do everything that I could to keep my children out of some of these situations. We've seen Dr. Candace cover quite a few of them, and apartments are just totally dilapidated. It makes you wonder why they're even still up and running. So I always question too. Yeah, you got the women that are on Section 8, but you got and I'll just keep using those videos as an example. And a lot of those videos, you saw the men there, at 11, 10 o'clock in the daytime, in the morning or whatever, they walking around. It's like, why you ain't at no job? What you mean you sit up in this Section 8 situation with your woman and she here and you here, like I don't know, maybe have a night job or something. I don't know. But you mean to tell me that y'all sitting up waiting for somebody to come in and help you fix this horrible situation? And so I'm not going to ever put just the woman on the hook, just like I'm never going to put just the man on the hook. I think it is both of our responsibility to make sure that we do what we can to not be in those situations, because 10 years, like I said, I know women who've been on there longer than that. But then I also sometimes know that they have a dude that's sitting up there with them, and it's like, now between the both of y'all need to get off your ass and make it do what it do. But now it ain't never gonna always be just the woman's problem.
Well, I'm trying to avoid the man-woman thing. I'm just, because I don't think I even mentioned women, other than the fact that video. Wait, other than that fact that video, there was a thing in Georgia where there was a bunch of women that lived in that video. I'm not shaming the women. I'm not trying to shame the women. I'm trying to stay away from the man-woman thing. We both know both people have a responsibility in it. We bring up the women with the children. Why are these women continually having all of these children? You make one mistake, that's one mistake, but that's my personal thing, whatever the deal is. So it's not a man-woman thing. We both got responsibilities. Vouchers is not supposed to be a lifestyle. I mean, 10 years is way more than enough time to, like you said, and some people are even more than that. And that's great. And like I said, I know people who are in high-end areas that are on some type of assistance as well, and they're living well in living homes, but it shouldn't be a lifestyle type situation. Where the man is, I don't know, don't understand. Whatever, the man should be there, he should, but unfortunately, it is what it is. And this topic also here is going to lead into our next topic as well, because it's going to show why, and I'm not making excuses, why a lot of our women are in the situations they are because of the independence that they want to be independent with. I think that's part of the problem. So, when you say you don't need a man, you don't need this, you don't need that, that becomes a big problem of why some men, not all men, some men, very small men, don't want to pick up their responsibilities.
Oh my goodness, this is where the rubber gonna meet the road. Yes, it's not supposed to be a lifestyle. That I will concede. It is not supposed to be a lifestyle. As I said, I know some people who've been on that for a very long time, whatever their situation may be. I am not judging them. I just say that I know that to be the case. So it's not a lifestyle. I also know that people who typically are on Section 8, sometimes, not always, they get other benefits. Maybe it's Medi-Cal, food stamps, or cash aid. Also with that, it comes free education and that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's ways to deal with that. But you also said the man is not there. You don't know why he's there. When we need to find his ass. We need to find that man, bring him back into the family so that he can help get that woman and child up out the Section 8, or as some people would say, the ghetto, public housing, whatever it may be. We need to find him and bring him back into the fold. Okay, so that's where I'm going with that. As far as independence, women saying they don't need a man, I, for the life of me, will wish that, and I'm gonna say y'all, since you brought it up, will stop using that as an excuse to not be present in the life of your woman and your child. Because as you may know, I don't know any women. I've never heard any of my friends or even any of my family members say, I don't need a man. I'm going to be independent. Because listen, most women I know be like, I don't want a man. You know what I mean? I ain't never heard no woman that I know say, and I'm not saying they don't say that. I'm saying I never heard that. So to try to spin this that like this is a regular thing, and there's all these sisters running around talking about that is like, again, that's the internet, that's the media that keeps portraying that these independent, strong Black women don't need a man. And as I always say, and I dare anybody to prove me wrong, you show me one woman that says, oh yeah, I would rather have this funky food stamps, this cash aid that ain't nothing, and all in Section 8 than a man. They find me a sister that has said that Now I ain't even talking about that Moynihan report thing that we saw in the 1986 where they showed the Black girls and some of them young teenagers or whatever talking about I don't need a man. Again, that is the media. You're not going to be able to throw a rock and find one Black woman, I ain't gonna guarantee you, but I'm pretty sure, that says I don't need no man. I like struggling. I like, taking care of all these kids by myself. I like not knowing where I'm gonna get my next meal and how these lights gonna stay on. I would never trade the struggle for a man. So it's like, I think it would behoove y'all to stop using that as an excuse not to bring your ass back into the fold.
Well, like I said, you said a lot without saying nothing at all. And I'm gonna say this. Here's the deal. I know, you're going to have your point, whatever the deal is. You can't make a woman keep a man that she don't want. That's a fact. Okay. Whatever the relationship is, if they broke up or whatever they're doing, it is what it is. Now, women that are out there working and making more than men, and this is just the facts of the deal. A successful woman who's making good money always strives for a man that's doing better than her. That's a fact. She doesn't, if you're making $50,000, $60,000, you don't go down there and say, well, I'm gonna get this guy that's working at Burger King. Now, me as a man, I can go to Burger King and see a cute girl because I'm visual as a man. And I can say, oh yeah, I'll give her a shot. No big deal. I'll fall in love, whatever the deal is. 9 times out of 10, you will not see a woman go to Burger King and pick up a dude that's working at Burger King unless she's in that age, that age frame or whatever. He's cute or whatever. He's thugging it out or whatever they're doing. The thing is this, we can go back and argue men, women, this, that. The fact of the matter is, just like you just reported, 30% of the housing vouchers in the United States are by Black people. We are 13% of the population. That is a high number within our group. 70% of Black women and men are not married. Reverse it in other groups, it's a higher number over there. These are just the statistical facts. Are both people at fault? Absolutely. I'm not going to be doing this back and forth. We know what the issues are. We know that independent, we know that everybody doesn't ascribe to that, but it is a trope that is out there. It's just a fact. And younger women, younger girls, if you look at some of these housing areas that have vouchers, the grandmother is single, the daughter is single, and now the granddaughter is single. No father in any of those situations for whatever reasons. That's just a fact.
Well, I want to throw that back at you. You ain't said nothing either, because I want to ask you, what does it mean? And I don't want to guess, brother, but what does it mean? You say you can't make a woman keep a man she don't want. Can you clarify that for me?
We can't tell a woman to stay with the man if she don't want the man. We can't do that.
Did you ever? Okay, let's just go off of what you said. You can't make a woman keep a man she don't want. That I'm still, trying to grapple what that means. But does anybody consider why she don't want that man? Let's
say he's abusive. Let's say it don't work out. Let's say he's going to jail or whatever. She doesn't want the man, so we can't make her stay in a relationship she doesn't want to stay in, and we can't make him stay in a relationship that he doesn't want to stay in.
So then that kind of debunks what you said as far as this independent woman stuff, right? Because there's levels to why, I'm going off of what you said, she may not want that man, right?
Right, which is a form of independence.
Yeah, but Let's not bend the truth, brother. Let's not bend
No,
the
that's
truth.
not bending the truth. That's a form of independence. When you have a choice, that's a form of independence.
Yeah, but we talking about in the terms of, we hear a lot that, oh, Black women are strong, independent. We talking about the negative. We ain't talking about she independent because she doesn't want to be that. It's like when I asked the why of your statement, does anybody know why that woman don't want this man? You know what I mean?
Why does that trope exist?
You know why it exists, brother. Come on, let's not play silly.
No, seriously. I'm asking you, in your opinion, why does the trope exist? I don't know. I didn't invent it. Men didn't invent that trope.
While I do know that there are some women, and let's just keep it with sisters, some sisters that say that, I think, and I know for a fact that it's overinflated with y'all try to use that statement as a blanket description of all Black women. There are some Black women that are single, because I am single. I am independent by the second definition you gave, but I am independent in a way that I have to be because I don't have a counterpart yet. I don't have a counterpart. And so there are some women who are independent due to no fault of her own. Being independent was not a choice of mine. I just want to put that out there. And so y'all like to do these blanket descriptions of Black women, and I, as a Black woman, am fully debunking that negative connotation of Black women are strong and independent, and that's why we ain't around. Maybe, and then you have to ask yourself, why does that sister? Now, there's some hard-headed, silly sisters out there who just you can't even talking about them. But why is that sister independent? Why doesn't she? Why is she in that situation where she may feel like I got to be independent?
Okay, well, like I said,
go ahead.
Well, like I said, we can go round and round about this, that. We know that it doesn't incorporate everybody. It doesn't mean everybody. We're not here to fight. I'm not here to fight that battle because it is what it is. There are a lot of successful women that are independent. My mom was a widow. She's a very independent woman within herself, but she was forced to be independent based on losing her husband.
Okay, but when is it not? Is she single now?
Yeah, my mom's single now, right?
So is she a strong, independent Black woman?
Yes, she is.
So your mom does fit the description that you're putting out there as far as these women who say,
No. My mom fits the literal description of being strong and independent. We know that this trope, at least this is my opinion, Donovan's opinion, the trope of strong and independent, I think it's bullshit because most women that ascribe to that are not that.
Yeah, but so, brother, which definition was you talking about when you first mentioned it? When you said women say they don't need a man, I wrote it down as you said we don't need a man. Yeah, and I'm independent.
Yeah, when I'm saying that, I'm going with what is going on today and that trope that is out there that women go with. They're going to be strong and independent, whatever. By women being on Section 8 for over 10 years goes back to my point of they're really not, which is going to lead into what I'm trying to show. They're really not. They're delusional. You're not strong and independent when you're dependent on the government, and and it's all technical. But the point is, that is one of the problems for our younger kids, because why is it that the next generation is making the same mistakes as our generation made, and so on and so on and so forth? It's being taught somewhere. The father's not there. I get it, whatever. But just because the father's not there, why are our young ladies making the same mistakes as Aunt Marjorie and everybody else? Because we know as intelligent people that when you come from those circumstances and you're 19 years old and you bring a baby in here, you condemn yourself and that child into a life of initially starting in poverty. We know that. Why are we making those same mistakes? Why are these young men being irresponsible and bringing children into this world and not suffering, I'd say suffering because I suffered, but the point is not dealing with the consequences of what they're doing. The fathers are not there. We're not teaching what we need to teach. Like I said, there's fault on both sides, and we know that, but the statistics do not lie. 70% of Black people, younger Black people, even myself and yourself, we're not married. 70% of the other groups, particularly white folks, are. 30% of Black people being on the voucher program is a significant number within our community. 50% of Black homelessness across the nation That's huge. But we seem to keep deluding ourselves by what we're seeing. That's a huge number when 50% of all homelessness in the United States is Black, when we're only 13, 14% of the population. There's blame to go everywhere.
Brother, you said a word, Salad. You said a whole lot of stuff. I couldn't even take notes. But I want to touch upon, you said that these women that are on Section 8, how do you know that that's their attitude, that I'm strong and independent?
I don't know that if that's their attitude, but we don't know that it's not their attitude either.
But so then it's kind of faulty to assert that it is, and we don't have any information that they said that?
No, when I was saying the trope, that is the trope that is going out there. I mean, how would I know that trope? Why do people know that trope when it's out there?
Do you know what a trope is?
Trope?
What's a trope?
What do you mean? It's like a bass. You catch it in water.
Okay, so
no, a trope is a non-factual thing.
Right. So I think we could pretty much so a trope, yes, a figurative or metaphorical use of word expression is what it is. So it's metaphorical,
correct. Non-factual, so, right?
Right, or figurative. So it's a trope. Why are we quoting tropes? Why are we even talking about tropes if they're not based off of anything? See what I'm saying?
Because it is a no, I get what you're saying, but see, you're trying to defend something that doesn't really need to be defended. And when I say that is this, we know that trope. We know that trope is out there, and even though it's a trope, a lot of people ascribe to it. We know that. We know that these younger people ascribe to it. We know we know it's true,
brother. We're gonna move on, but it wasn't no younger people who brought that up. It was you.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Because like I said, why is it that our parents' generation told the younger generation, you don't need no man, go to school, whatever? We know that stuff is not necessarily true for everybody.
I'm just double checking, brother, because we want to make sure that we on our square when we saying stuff. Also, you said something about, we're gonna move on to the next one. I just want to just clear some things up. He said a woman making $60,000 or more, maybe he says six figures, is typically you're not going to want a man making less to her. That's also another lie from the pit of the manosphere. And I know a lot of women who make it more money than they man, and they like, that's not a thing as much as y'all think it is. Y'all talking about the Instagram baddies and all these other women out there that want to get a bag on a man, but we talking about a sister that want to get with a man and help build something. She don't care if he making less than her, because if y'all on the same page, what's yours is his, and vice versa, right? There is no one. This is my money, and I don't impress upon no man or no woman be with somebody that says this is my money and this is not your. Nah, because if you building something, it's y'all money, and a woman worth her weight, especially if she married with somebody, knows that the money she bring home belongs to him too, and she still realizes that he is the head of the household, and he still is the one that is making the decisions with her help, right? So I don't know a lot of women, and I'm just speaking to me personally, women I know, like, I just want him to be decent and, have something going on. Like, I don't want to completely take care of no man with no job. I just want a good man. I don't know women that say, oh, he got to be making 100,000 and all this other stuff. I just want a good man laid next to me that we, talk about ideas and we dreams and we build. That's what the women I know. But all that, I ain't talking to them. And I even know women who would talk to a man that's working at Burger King. But however, I want to put this out there because I want a lot to kick it. I'll talk to a man that's working at Burger King, but baby, are you thinking about moving up and doing something else? Because that's what I want to know. You know what I mean? Because for one thing, I don't want my man working at Burger King. That's a grueling job dealing with customers and all. I want him to eat whatever it is, right? I want him to be striving to do something else. Notice how I just put a dollar sign on it. I just said, maybe come on after, putting salt on the fries, description.
Okay, wait. But what if he wants to stay at McDonald's? Would you continue to date that man?
If that's what he wanted to do, absolutely. As long as we are on the same page or is building something, if I love the man and he loves me, then we are going to love what we love, together, right? And so I'm one of those type of women. You can ask anybody that's been with me, baby. I'm definitely a team player. I'm definitely gonna help you be better than you was and when we got together, and you should be doing the same thing for me. And I'm not even talking about material things as much, but I'm talking about, whether your credit is jacked up, okay, this is how we gonna fix it, whatever the case is, whatever it is, right? Whether it's, giving you a new mindset, helping you learn knowledge of self. That's what I'm talking about. So all that, and I'm not saying ain't women out there who talking about, I just want to date, because listen, there's a lot of men making $100,000, $200,000, $400,000, $1 million a year. That ain't shit.
Right. Well, actually, that's not true. The men that are making, especially in the Black community, that make over 6 figures is less than 7%. And they're mostly athletes and
insurance. Brother? I said,
no, I heard what you said.
Man is making a lot of money don't mean he a good man.
Exactly.
That is a truth.
Exactly. But let me ask you this: you're of a higher caliber tax bracket. How many of your friends do you know that are either married or dating a man that makes less than them?
Let me think. I don't know anyone.
That's my point.
That's dating a man that may. Oh, yeah, I do. I was thinking the other way around. I know 3 women who are dating a man that's but then they don't tell me all their business. I can only speculate, so I don't know for a fact. But I would say definitely they're not making way more than that man. It's probably really about the same, to be honest with you.
But that's my point. Like I said, I don't have any friends that I'm aware of where the woman is making more than the man, or they're about the same. So what I'm saying is, universally, you're going to find women date up usually, and they're taught to do that. You know what I mean? So that's just how it is. You want to date a good choice.
Yes, that is true. Women are told marry up. We know that hasn't always panned out. And if you rattle off statistics all day long, including the one that the average Black man is making about $40,000. So if a Black woman want to get with her a Black man, she know goddamn well she's not gonna get with a man that's making $100,000, $200,000, or whatever. She know she gonna get with a man that's making roughly 40, give or take, right? So that's why I said we going off of the stuff that we hear from the internet, but we're not really putting logic to it, and we do it so that we can. I'm not saying you necessarily, but so we can demonize the other.
Yeah, you are. But go ahead.
No, well, I mean, I'm just going off of what you said, brother. A lot of times we do it to demonize the other sex, if you will, the Black woman or the Black man. But if you're looking at the numbers, ain't no Black man making that kind of money. Like you said, 7% of Black men are actually making that kind of money. So that just kind of debunks that. A woman, a Black woman especially, is going to be with a man that's making way more than her. Let's just keep it real, unless he, is really doing something.
Right, correct. So what I'm saying is, I know you don't realize this a lot, but and as a woman, you're supposed to do it. You defend a lot of the women. No. I'm just letting. No, I'm just letting you know. I agree. You're going to do and defend. What you need to defend. I'm going to defend what I need to defend, if it's defendable. But the point is, there's blame on both sides. I mean, we could go out here and say men ain't this, men ain't that. When we say that, of course, I'm going to say, well, no, that's not all men. We all know that. The intelligent people, we know not all people are into that stuff. So my point is, the numbers do not lie. Most women that I know in my friend circle, they are married to either men that are making as much as them or more. I don't have any female friends that I'm aware of that are dating men that make significantly less than them. I don't know any people like that.
See, I think the Lord allowed me to have red eyes today for a reason, because they're coming in handy. And y'all might have came in late. I sweat excessively when I work out, and the sweat and the salt burnt my eyes. Are not high, even though I think I need to be dealing with Donovan sometimes. But anyway, I can't let that slide, brother. You talking about because you a woman. Nah, brother, don't let because I'm a woman fool you. I got sense. I can hear very well. And you're the one that started off with the divisiveness talking about the sisters. And I got the notes right here, brother. And then we listen. It ain't live, boo. It's Memorex. We can go back and rewind it. And you started this with that. We don't need. You said we need. No, it says I don't need a man, and the independence. She's an independence. What you said, don't need a man, right? So you started off with that, but now I can hear very well. I always talk in the responsibility for everybody, right? I just want to make that clear. Me being a woman has nothing to do with the way I hear. I hear and comprehend extremely well.
Correct. I didn't say you did, but the thing is, you don't let people have their opinion in what they're saying. No. You don't have to break down everybody's opinion because you don't like what they're saying. Just let them say what they're saying.
That's not how the conversation works, baby. That's not how the conversation works. Just like I can't tell you what to say, you can't tell me what to say. But the other thing is too, we want to deal in the truth as much as possible. And it's something that's going forth that is kind of wonky. I want to break it down to make sure that we build it back up the right way. That's what you call doing the math.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Your show.
If it was your show, you know me.
Oh, no, if it was my show, it wouldn't be going like that. It would never go like that.
Please. You already know.
Trust me, it would never go like that. It would never go like that. Listen, I'm gonna let you say what you need to say without interruption. And when I mean interruption, I don't mean like cut me off. I mean whatever you're saying, I'm gonna leave it at that because that's your opinion.
So if I said all bald-headed men are horrible people on your show, you gonna let me just ride with it?
I'm gonna let you ride because you're my guest on my show. That is your opinion. That has no reflection on me.
And you would be a horrible host to let me say something like that, and because it's my opinion. Okay. But anyway, moving right along, and I'm sure Donovan's blood pressure is gonna shoot up just a little bit more, or maybe mine. So we're gonna talk about this gentleman that's talking about the Passport Brothers. What else? Here we go.
As far as traveling, man, some guys, they go to these foreign countries, Dominican Republic, Cartagena, Colombia, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and you lose your mind. You've never seen these type of women, beautiful women, in quantity, and they're interested in you. When back in the U.S. or back in your home state, you may not have been able to pull a 5 or 6. Now, so you got 8, 9, and 10s interested in you. Be careful, man. Because really, you meet these women in these cities in particular, Dominican Republic, Cartagena, Colombia, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and also, to some extent, Medellin, Colombia. These are popular tourist destinations. These are places that women in these countries know that they can go find a gringo or a Western man and get some money about them. So it's heavily schemed. We are really schemed against these particular cities. So just be careful, man. You know what I'm saying? You meet a young lady, have fun, you know what I'm saying, do what it is, but don't try to fall in love in these particular cities because more likely than not, she's just looking for either a good time and or some money, probably money first.
I'm gonna let you go first, my dear brother. As the host, I want to be very respectful and allow you to go first.
Well, thank you very much there. Now, in the video, like I said, he's giving good and basic advice that you should know about. But I think it's kind of common sense if you've traveled enough to know that, that kind of stuff goes on. It is very hypocritical here in the United States that we sit here and we talk about these other countries as if they're just, backwards and it's just a thing. And, this stuff goes on. How many of you guys are aware that in Germany and in Europe, the red light districts are very prevalent? They're very prevalent there. It's very common. Very common. Big money, you go there, handle your business, whatever. What these other countries are doing who are not as advanced as the Western countries, you know, they don't have a set up red light district type area. So does this stuff go on? It goes on all the time. If you've spent time in the military, you kind of know how to navigate these waters. I mean, and they tell you how to navigate, and they tell you how you're supposed to act. I always tell people all the time about the ugly American. The ugly American is these people that go out there and think that they go to these other countries, which you are a guest. You think you could do whatever you want in American times. Your rights mean nothing. You mean nothing in those countries. They can change their laws like that just to quote and fix you to be there for a significant amount of time. So if you go to these countries, act accordingly, be respectful, do what you're supposed to do. But unfortunately, you have a lot of people that don't know how to act. They go to these countries, and this is one of the problems. If you're going to be engaging in a red light district activity, don't film that stuff. Don't, you know, you're not supposed to film that stuff. I've gone to these countries several times, all around the world, and in my whole career. I've lived overseas all my life, you know, traveled all my life overseas, and not one video have you ever seen of me videotaping these areas and things of that nature, and acting an ass, and, you know, and just doing, you know, whatever the thing they're supposed to do. This stuff is giving travelers a black eye. It's giving the United States a black eye, because these people do not want our people. If I was a man in another country and I'm seeing that these gringos are coming to my country to exploit my women, there's going to be a lot of problems. And you're going to see, recently there was a young man who got run out of Colombia, I believe it was. I think he's in Pattaya now in Thailand, which I will never go to Pattaya. If you ever heard about Pattaya, you don't ever want to go there. And he's over there because he didn't understand how to move in silence. You got to know how to move in silence. We know this stuff goes on. There's tricking going on here in the United States. There's tricking everywhere. I think it's just, for me, it's very hypocritical when you have a $20 billion pornography industry in the United States, and we have OnlyFans and all this other stuff going on. And yet we're going to go and tell other countries, and, you know, oh, this, you know, oh, they're going over there doing this and doing that, whatever. Hey, it is what it is. Just move accordingly and move in silence and stop the ugly American syndrome.
Brother, you've never filmed a woman or taken a picture of a woman in another country and posted it?
Yes, I've done that, but not in the red light district.
What about at the airport? What about at the airport?
I could do that at the airport. I could do that at the airport. That's the airport.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know what the difference is, but okay.
The difference is you're in a known public entity. You're in a known public entity. That's the airport. That's the difference.
Is it a different? It's in the same country though, right? I'm just asking.
No, I think what you're talking about, we were in Costa Rica.
Right, different country. But anyway, let me go ahead. So what we saw there was a man on TikTok who was giving the brothers, I guess the passport brothers, the game, saying Sasua, Cartagena, and Rio are places where men typically get schemed. They're the words that he's using. And he's basically said they looking for a sucker, a mark. A gringo is the name that he said, but I heard sucker. And he says oftentimes these men that go to these countries or these places in these countries fall in love. And he's like, those women, a lot of them, they looking for a good time or some money. Or as I said about a week or so ago, they're on the track. They on the stroll. They looking for the next trick or whatever. So he also said, be careful that you go with these things in mind, right? But he also says something that I thought was like, pow, pow, pow. He said it, I didn't. He says, a lot of y'all cannot pull a 5 or a 6 in the United States, but then you go to these other countries and you pull in the 8, 9s, and 10s. What I think he wanted to say, because that's where I heard him going, you only pulling those 8, 9s, and 10s because those women is like, Annie up, sucker. I want the Skrilla for the thriller. That's what they saying. And so Donovan, I'm gonna ask you: is there any validity to these men not being able to pull a 5 or a 6 and go over to these countries with their money flashing? Like you said, the gentleman that we saw that got in trouble, I think it was Colombia. Now he's in Thailand acting an ass for what it sounds like. I don't know if you consider these women 8, 9s, or 10s. I don't know. I don't typically do that with women as far as judge them like that. But we've seen it. We've seen a lot of these men that over here, you know, they talk about, you know, let's keep it real, the sisters, all the sisters, you know, and then they go over there and then they end up with, you know, a baddie. So you tell me, is there any truth to that?
Yeah, there's total truth to that. There's total truth to that. Absolutely. Like I said, I was in the military for a lot of years. You'll see guys in the military, you think he's like, you know, Opie Cunningham from the Andy Griffith show. And then he's got this bad chick from, you know, the Philippines. You know, you're like, well, how did he get up with her? You know, but, you know, of course, the economic, situation of that is always a case. Again, women are taught to marry up or to marry well, right? And I'm not saying it's this thing. I think that's in every culture. You know, women are taught that. That's something women are taught. You know, you're taught to marry into a well-to-do family. Everybody wants to do that, right? But the thing is, though, the 5 and the 6, he can get an 8 or a 9 here too. He just has to pay just like anybody else has to pay. I mean, there's really no difference when you think about it. If the question is, to get an 8 or a 9 here, you might pay way more money than you would if you went down there. That's the difference. Tricking here or tricking there, it's still tricking.
I mean, absolutely. It is, you know what I mean? But it's like, so it's tricking here, tricking there, tricking everywhere. Why don't they trick here?
Well, like I just said, it's going to cost more here. It's economics. So
they broke. They broke over here.
No, it's not. No, I wouldn't say it's broke. Okay, and I've heard people use that analogy. So you need a pair of tennis shoes. You got the Air Jordans, you got the Converse, and you got the JCPenney off-brand, right? Economically, depending on how big your pockets are and how you were raised, what are you going to shoot for? Now, you know me, I don't wear nothing name brand. That just ain't me because I wasn't raised that way. So I'm not going to pay a high price for the same exact thing. So I think it's more economics. Not that the person's broke. I think that they're smart, because then also in some cases, when you go overseas like that and you find a woman over there or whatever, I'm not saying in the red light, let's say you just go into the country itself. The women are more traditional. They're just traditional women. They just are. Not saying you can't find a traditional woman here, but they don't have the same hangups as we do in the United States. And, and it's so sad that a lot of women are antiquating the passport bros with pedophilia and all that other stuff. I mean, I don't understand, why they're doing that, but a lot of them are doing it. But the thing is, if that's a person's choice to go overseas and find a wife or live a life over there, who are we to tell them that they can't?
Broke. That's my opinion. I think that it's a broke issue. You're saying you're going to go travel and spend airplane money, hotel money, tricking money all over another country. How much does that cost to even just get over there and get the poo nanny for cheap? That got to cost you something to get over there. So it's like, I hear what you're saying, but I think it's not even really financially broke. I think it's mentally broke. And I also think when you said too, we are taught as women to marry up, I would concede that, yes, we have, as women, have heard that one time in our life, marry up, child, marry a man that got something going. Yeah, so we've heard that, right? However, a lot of the passport brothers ain't going over there to get married. They going over there to have a good time. They just are, right? The passport bros, now the ones that I'm speaking of, I'm not talking about the ones that's like, hey, I'm going to go find me a wife. We're going to, do married people thing. It has been redefined.
Definitely a difference. Definitely a difference.
Yeah. It's been redefined of a passport, bro, that I'm going to get my blue book and I'm going to go over there and, I was going to say something nasty because my mind be working fast, but I ain't going to say that. I'm going to get my blue book and I'm going to go over there and have fun. Let's put it that way. And then I'm not going to find a wife. I'm going to come on back and, and I'm going to do it again when I save up my little coins or whatever. Then you also said, um, women, again, I'm paraphrasing that women are a little different over there. They're traditional, more so over there. The standards are different, but I wanted to say this just kind of from what I've seen. Not saying it's about all passport bros because I don't like to deal in absolutes. Those women aren't different than us. Those women have standards too. You know what's different between those women and us is you guys' tolerance level. Y'all tolerate the stuff they do, and they do the same things that American women do, but y'all tolerate it because y'all have gotten in y'all minds that the American sisters, they crazy, they this, they that, they talk too much, they modern, they got all this other stuff. But somebody actually told me to watch it. Don't give me to quote because I get them mixed up. I don't know if it was Professor Black Truth or Jason Black, if they the same people, I don't know. He has a channel called like the Business Channel or something. And he broke down the situation of the little boy. Well, I don't want to disrespect him. He's 23 years old, little boy to me, not to be disrespectful. The guy.
Yeah, I saw that when I was laughing my ass off, but go ahead.
Yeah, he broke it down. He broke it down about what's really going on over there. So it's like she was disrespectful to him. She's mushed him all up in his face and was all up on her phone. He broke it down. I would say he did a mastery of breaking it down. And so he's a man that said this and not me. He says the same thing that the American brothers complain about with the sister. She did that to him and then some, because y'all would never tolerate a sister putting her hands in your face and mushing you back without her drawing back a nub or something. But it's the tolerance level. Y'all tolerate those women doing it because y'all under the illusion that because they are exotic, they must be better. And we gonna put up with it because she different than that woman. But what, getting mushed in your face. And like he said, she all up on the phone as he's paying for her to get something to eat. And he probably paid to spend time with her, which I'm like, even with whoever it was, he said he wasn't there but a day or so. So you ain't gonna tell me this is a woman he knew. That obviously that was a woman he paid for. So you're paying for the booty, you're paying for her to eat, and God knows what else she did, and she don't even have a good sense to look up from her phone and pay attention to pretend like she with you. Now, had that been a sister over here doing that, y'all have had her all on TikTok. That's why I walked out. That's why I made her pay, because she ignored me and all this, and then she touched my face. Y'all have had her on blast, and every Negro on YouTube would have made a video about it.
Well, like I said, I'm not going to disagree with you at that, but you got to remember that was in Brazil. If you've ever been to Brazil, they have armed encampments running around there. So you have to move a certain way, and they're not going to tolerate women being touched by foreigners. So I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing. What I'm saying is, in Brazil, where this kid was, his life was in danger. Okay, they will cut you up and leave you there for dead. Colombia, they will do the same thing there as well. They don't care you're an American. They don't give a damn. You're in their country. So I'll agree with that. But again, it's I saw the Jason Black one, and again, I'm a military person, so we are briefed in how we are supposed to act and stuff. And what I found in my travels recently, and you were in Sosua with me when we went up there, and I wanted you to see Sosua to see actually what was going on, and we saw a lot. And it's very, very sad. Like I said, now, being from the West Coast that we are, most of the people we met over there, we saw over there, were from where? The East Coast, or the South. Yeah, they're from America, but a lot of them have, they were East Coast, New York, because they're the big Dominican population up there. A lot of the TV channels that they see is American TV channels out of New York. So a lot of these women down there, they are seeing what the American women are doing and whatever, how you want to call it. So I agree. Their mentality it's not the same, but their wants and their desires are the same. They want to get their nails done. They want to get their hair done. They want to do everything that the gringo women do. So, in my travels, especially since I've been retired, I'm seeing these new young men moving, especially Black men moving, and what they're doing is they're taking their mentality from where they're from, and they're bringing it to these countries thinking it's going to work. And those countries will show you how it works in their countries. They're cool with you and everything like that. But when it comes down to it, young men, when you go to these countries, you are a guest. And yeah, you could go have fun. Like I said, if you've been to Germany, if you've been to Europe, everybody knows there's a red light district. But you just don't go up in the red light district and act like you would in a strip club here in the United States. It's a total different vibe. So you better move accordingly, or you will find yourself targeted and possibly dead.
Now, brother, you know I can't let you blame Black women for what those other women in those countries are doing. I can't let you do that.
When did I blame Black women?
Did you say that, brother? I heard what you said. You said they looking at the women over here with the nails in the hair. Did you not say that? I
did, and I said they have the same desires.
Right.
What's wrong with that?
So, but because you brought Black women into the influencing those other women. I'm gonna say this. Yes, they might be influenced by the things that we do, but we ain't make those women do those things. And why is it by that same vein? In the same vein, I was dancing, y'all, because I was like, oh, I'm about to eat his lunch. In that same vein, why can't we get credit for the good things those women do over there and not the so-called ratchet things that those women are doing? And let's keep it real. Cardi B is from the DR, and you know, a lot of the women over there, I'm sure they look to Cardi B as the litmus test for whatever. Cardi B ain't necessarily an African-American woman, so I don't even know how we get charged with that.
Yeah, she's not African-American. She's Dominican.
Right, so I just wanted just for clarification purposes, like, nah, not just you, but all the other brothers out here with that nonsense talking about all they mimicking Black women over here. Listen, I'm a very dope Black woman, and any woman that would mimic me would be very well off in attitude and everything. So it's like, just like we getting the blame, we also want to get the credit for the good things that those women are doing. They say, oh, I see a Demetra K over there, or, you know, any other woman, whatever. She's a nice woman. I want to be like her. But all that negativity, like the nails and the hair and the attitude, those women don't need us.
Wait a minute. Getting your nails and hair done, that's not negative. I want women to have their hair and nails done. I didn't say it has to be ghetto, but I didn't say anything. I said they're influenced by you. I didn't say anything negative. There's nothing wrong with getting your hair and nails done. A lot of these women come from places where they don't even have running water. So, you know, for them to look up to, you know, to be influenced by American women, that's a good thing for a lot of them. It really is. They see what they want to be or what they want to do. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right, but we was talking with the situation of there being a difference between those women being more traditional than us. And I said the only difference between them and us is that y'all tolerance level, because they do the same stuff we do. Listen, a woman is a woman wherever
right.
she is.
And I agree with you. Yeah, they do have yeah, I agreed with you. I didn't disagree with you. I didn't disagree with you at all.
That woman live on the moon. She gonna be, the women are women everywhere. I just want to put that out there.
Right, absolutely. That's what I said. Tricking in the United States or tricking overseas. What's the difference? There is
tolerance and money. Tolerance and money. Right. That's the difference.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the price you're gonna pay. There's no difference.
All right, brother. You ready to get to this card game? Okay. Now, don't lie to kick it. Okay. This is the don't lie to kick it card. Got my good red eye on you. Again, my eyes are red, y'all, because, you know, I was at the gym and the sweat burnt my eyeballs. Have you ever had a one-night stand? If so, would you ever have one again? Why or why not?
Have I ever had a one-night stand? I've never had a one-night stand.
And I've never had one either. Never had one.
That's my answer. I can't even elaborate. I've never had one.
Me either. No, I've never had one. That's nasty. Now I'm just speaking for me, okay? That's nasty. I don't even know enough about you. I don't know your middle name. I don't know your mama name. I don't know your daddy name. I don't even know hardly what you do. I don't know if you got kids. I don't know if you even.
Well, think about this. Well, think about this. We grew up in the era where the HIV epidemic was raging. We had just we just graduated high school. I mean, that's when it was raging. Magic Johnson came out and he, you know, had to leave his career. It was crazy, right? So I'm a fairly educated person. I'm seeing this pandemic or this epidemic going around the world happening. Ain't no way in hell I'm going to have a one night stand and I don't know you. I don't know your family. I can't track you down. Not doing it.
I totally agree with you. We did come up in the age of the HIV, as they would say, HIV and AIDS and all of that was really like, right? And so for me, even if there wasn't anything like that per se, to me, it's a mentality thing. Like I don't even know if I'm into you like that for me to even want to lay down in a bed with you anywhere. You might be as you know, the Max Julian, the Mac Goldie once said, you could be a sadistic fool about the suburbs that might break my arm or something. You know what I mean? So I would never lie down with a man that I just met. First of all, I don't even know if you use soap good down there. You know what I mean? I don't know where you've been the night before. Now, of course, you may never know that even with somebody you've been with for 30, 40, 50 years. But the chances of him, speaking from a woman's point of view, being nasty with the heebie-jeebies, it's great because I don't know if you was eating sushi, and y'all know what I mean when I say sushi, the night before you got with me. And so I just don't really know that much about you for you to even be all up on me like that. No, you ain't even gonna get a kiss on the first date, let alone that. No. Anyway, I hope that helps. Can you dance? If so, well, it says show me your best moves. You ain't got to do that, but can you dance, Donovan?
Well, back in the day, you know, we were dancing, hip hop, early hip hop. You had all the groups, Guy, and everybody, everybody loved to dance, Cabbage Patch, and all that stuff like that. But now that I'm older and I'm going to be 53 this year, I'm just happy to stay on beat. I'm just happy to stay on beat. That's about it. But I will say this: when I was in high school, I was the resident Michael Jackson of my school, and nobody outdid my Michael Jackson than me. Okay.
You was that Michael Jackson, the Indian version. Y'all remember with the Indian version of Thriller? Where they that was the one you see. I seen you. Yeah, I seen you dance. Anyway, dancing is a universal thing, right? Can I dance? Absolutely, I can dance. I have danced since I was a child. Professionally, I've taken jazz, ballet, then tap. I've taken
shameless plug. Shameless plug. You danced at Bree Studios in Riverside, California.
Yes, I've done modern, lyrical, jazz, ballet, hip hop. I was actually a hip hop instructor, and yes, I could do a mean stall and a floor run and the up rock. I could do all of that.
Didn't they fire you for teaching crip walking?
Yes. I was on the jazz team and all of that all throughout high school. So yeah, I can dance. I can still dance now. Nowadays, I got a little bit more of a sway going on, something like that, maybe a little shoulder. And I could, bust a sweat if I need to. Now, don't get it twisted. So yes, I can dance. All right.
Wait, and then I got to bring up, they had a Metro reunion. Demetra K couldn't get off the dance floor. Her and her old cronies. I'm talking about women that brought out their suits from the 90s. That's
I loved it. I loved all of it. I loved the 90 cat suits and with the boots. And I loved it all, because I could just imagine those sisters going to the closet and getting all the dust off of it and getting
their body shapers putting together.
Yeah. I think
all the brothers that had the Jerry curl fades, all balding and,
a bunch of cue balls on the floor, right? Just shiny cue balls. No more flat tops fades. None of that. Just cue balls. Look like a whole bunch of bowling balls and pool balls just out there just dancing. Woo! Couple of George Jeffersons, I ain't gonna knock a brother, whatever. Some of them had the Stevie Wonder braids. It's like, I'm not gonna let it go. Some of them had the little Jerry curl. It wasn't as moist as it was back then. But if they had the Jerry curl, they probably had on that leather suit with the shoes to match too. Oh my God. Anyway, what motivates you the most in life, Donovan?
Man. Well, okay. Motivation. There's a lot of things that motivate people. Okay. Usually it's like a job or dream or something like that. A lot of people don't believe this, but I tell this to everybody. Me and my mom and I talk about it all the time. My problem today is I lack dreams. I lack motivation for the simple fact that everything that I wanted to do in life, I accomplished. I actually got it done. And so now it's like, I really don't want to do anything else. So I just get up every day and I tell people retirement for me every day is, I don't know what time it is. I don't know what day it is. I have to check my phone because when you're retired, every day is the same. So I have no motivation other than to, I wake up and I got to find something for myself to do, because everything fundamentally that I wanted to do growing up, all of my dreams, okay, I didn't make it to the NBA. That's no big deal. But my fallback dream, everything else, traveling, flying, going to war several times, getting married, having children, everything that I dreamed of, I accomplished. So I kind of lack motivation. So to be motivated today, I have to just little victories. I put up some CO sensors in the different rooms. I put in a new thing. I'm still landscaping my backyard. I have to do little victories to keep myself going, because let's face it, without dreams, you die.
I totally agree. So what motivates me the most in life is my family and my ancestors. Now I say my family, like my father, my daughter, and my family and stuff. But when I say my ancestors, I mean my mom and my grandmothers, and my grandfather, because especially with my mom, she knew that I was put here to do great things, right? She spoke everything that I'm doing to me. I even have a voicemail that I've saved so many years ago of her telling me, I can't wait to see you, on TV and, your own show. And back then I was like, but she saw something in me that I didn't see. So that motivates me because, for one, I want to live up to that. And whenever I feel like, maybe I don't want to do this as much or whatever, I think about her. What motivates me too, and my daughter will tell you, anybody who knows me, I'm very competitive. I don't like to be a quitter. I don't like to be thought of as a quitter. So that motivates me. As you guys know, I'm taking cycling classes now. I just was always intimidated by the bicycle seat because that sucker hurts, if y'all know what I mean. But I had to push through it, right? I had to push through it and, say, okay, it's painful now. Let me come back again. It was painful, but it wasn't as painful. And now it doesn't bother me anymore. And I often tell all of the instructors, because my daughter and I, we go 4 times a week now, which some people say is a lot. I tell them all, I said, I wish I would have done this years ago, because I'm seeing results and it's just a good mind trip. So I'm one of those people that quitting motivates me. I never want to be considered a quitter. And I know this is kind of cliche, but people who tell me that I can't and then give it up and you're no good, those people motivate me. Those people make me want to dig in deeper, not even this, because it ain't about them. Because most of the time it is not even people and sometimes it is, right? But for me, it ain't about proving them wrong. It's about proving that to me that they don't have an effect on anything I do, because I know there's a lot of people who lie down because some sucker from the internet or even a sucker in their family told them you're no good, you're never gonna be nothing. And so they take that to heart and they take that and they make that their life's mission to not be anything. And so that kind of stuff motivates me. And I would say a while ago, years ago, yeah, that probably would have bothered me. I'm like, oh my God, I need to try to shift and, make myself likable by everybody. But I always give you this quote by Demetra and Donovan, who is a burlesque dancer. She says, you could be the sweetest peach in the bunch, but guess what? There'll be somebody who don't like peaches. Oh, the hell well. Then you ain't doing it for them. You're doing it for the people who like what you do. So yes, the naysayers, I don't want to say I love it, but I use that as fuel to say, all right, Demetra, they said you couldn't do it. Watch me. Watch me do it. And not only watch me do it, watch me succeed. So, and I love talking about motivation, because a lot of times we think motivation is about, oh, I need to get this house. Oh, I need to get this car. Motivation gets me out of bed. Even if I know I'm just going to get up and work out, that's motivating to me, because I know when soon I get to that workout, then eventually I'm going to get to the goal of being healthy and looking fly. Let's just keep it real, because that's why a lot of us work out. I know I'm going to get closer to that goal. And so I always stay motivated. I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. I don't like unmotivated people. Not to say that I don't like them as a person. I don't like their attitude, because people who have no motivation, it's like that is infectious. And when you hang around people like that, or you talk to people like that often, then eventually you start to maybe wane down on the things that you really want to do, and you think that is okay. So a person with no motivation, I might talk to you for a couple of minutes, but if I see that as your mindset, then I'm gonna talk to you as least as possible, because we can't hang out. You must be motivated. You want to be, and I always say this too. When I first started my fitness journey, now I've always been kind of athletic, always, right? But when I started back after, my daughter was probably like 10, and I was, a big sister, right? I had like LBs on me. And I started to work out after my doctor told me. I said, well, doctor, I am working out. I was doing those little cute little walks around the block. He says, are you huffing and puffing when you work out? I said, well, no. I said, then you ain't doing it right. He says, are you sweating when you get done working out? I said, no, not really. He says, then you ain't doing it right. Because at the time, you want to put me on high blood pressure medication. I was like 30-something years old, right? I'm like a little too young for that. So I said, give me 30 days, doctor, give me 30 days. So where I live, there's a mountain called Mount Rubidoux. And this thing is 1,300 so feet up. It's 2 miles going one way, all the way up. And then 1 mile is very steep. So I took my big fat ass up that mountain. And actually, I went up there one time. I took a walking class. It was probably one of the hardest classes I took, because I thought it was going to be a walk in the park. And that skinny white lady walked us like, I was like, wow. Let me keep it real with y'all. In that class, it was about 40 people when it started. You know how many people was in that class when it finished? 5. And guess who was in that class? My big ass was one of the 5 in that class. And our final was to go up that mountain. First time I ever went. And I was like, I'm going to die, right? Because it was hard, But then when my doctor had the conversation with me, I was like, okay, I'm going to go up this mountain every day. And when I went back, I had lost like 10 pounds or so. Blood pressure was stable. He says, what did you do? I said, I went up that mountain every day. He says, you keep going. And until I moved from California, there were sometimes I went up that mountain twice a day, including with my good friend Sharon. We will go like a 7-mile walk in between going up that mountain twice. And that's when I was really fit. And I say all that to say that my good friend Sharon, out of all the people who would say, I'm going to go with you, she was the only one that was like, Demetra, because we would go on her lunch break. You ready? Yeah, I'm ready. I'm going to meet you up there, because I kind of work from home still, whatever. I was flexible. I'm going to meet you up there. Okay, she's like, I'm about to get off. You ready? Yeah, I'm going to meet you up there. She was the only one that went. So
I went with you one time, and that was it.
Y'all know Donovan came up there with me and Sharon. This fool had on church shoes. I was like, what? Because he was campaigning. I'm like, what did he think we was coming up here to do? But nevertheless, he did. But let's say this, he ain't come back. And he's been invited to come back, after that. He didn't come back. But you know what? I applaud you for doing it. But the point that I'm making is everybody ain't gonna go with you. And I always ask people this: who motivates the motivator? Well, the motivator motivates themselves. So I'm going to leave y'all with this. Don't wait for somebody else to be your motivation. Motivate your damn self, because you know who's going to get into that size 10 pants? Because I'm almost there, y'all. That's what I'm trying to do. 9, 10 pants. You know who's going to get into those 9, 10 pants with you? You. You know who's going to be able to do whatever it is you're trying to achieve with you? You. That's why you got to motivate yourself. Everybody ain't going to do it. There's some people right now who wish they would have went up there. I wish I would have went with you. Oh, I wish I would have exercised with you. Well, hell, I'm one of those people. I'm a push type of person. I ain't a pull. I'll push you, but I'm never going to pull you. Keep it real with you. So, Donovan, what say you before we get out of here?
Great topic to end it on, motivation. You got to stay motivated. You find something that motivates you. So, great topic.
Yes, indeed. So we love y'all so much. We'll see y'all tomorrow, Wealth Wednesday with Walter. We're going to talk about finances. I got a good topic for y'all. I think you guys will like that. We'll talk about tomorrow. Of course, we're going to send out the link so that it will be live, that you guys can come on and join and all of that. Of course, we have ways to help and donate to the channel if you feel so let's do so. Please at least like, subscribe, and become a member. I promise I'll try to keep good commentary. You might not always agree with me, but it's always going to be in love and never from a bad place. So I love you guys. See y'all later. Peace.